Now, I've never been afraid to make big decisions in my life. Like, I've walked away from major record deals. I've turned down opportunities that most people would have killed for without even really thinking about it. But there's one decision that I made that's really shaped my life, I think, more than anything else. And that's the decision not to have kids. Now, I will tell you, it's not a decision I made casually. It's not something I woke up one day and thought, you know what, I think I'll just skip that. It's something I wrestled with deeply, privately, for years. And yet, for some reason, it's the one decision that I've made that seems to invite the most judgment. Not only from strangers, but from people I know, people I love, people who genuinely care about me, but just can't understand it. You'd be surprised how many times I've heard some version of, "Oh, James, you'll change your mind." Or, "You say that now, but wait until you meet the right person." And sometimes it's kind of said with a laugh, but sometimes it's said with a real edge, like they're actually disappointed in me. And then sometimes it's not actually said at all. It's just in a look that they give me. Now, if you're one of those childless by choice people out there, like me, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's the thing. I don't think people mean to be hurtful. Most of the time, I think it just comes from a place of wanting me to have what they believe is the ultimate joy in life. But there's this unspoken assumption in those conversations that my life, as it is now, is somehow incomplete. Like there's a missing piece. Like I'm just walking around kind of half-built. But the truth is, I love my life. It's playing out exactly as I want it to. But listen, I've asked myself all of these questions. I've gone there in my own head more times than I can count. Like, I've pictured Christmas mornings and I've imagined teaching my child how to ride a bike. I mean, I've thought about what it would feel like to hear someone call me dad. But then I've also pictured those sleepless nights and the fear that I would have, the heartbreak, the sheer responsibility of it. And I realized that I wouldn't be good at that. And I don't want that kind of life. Not because it's bad, but because it's not part of the story that I've envisioned for myself. I think that's something a lot of people misunderstand. Choosing not to have kids isn't about rejecting their choice. It's about honoring mine. Because I know how I'm at my best. I know what fills me up. And I know what kind of life I want to wake up to every day. Now, that doesn't mean it's always easy, because there are moments, fleeting but very real, where I do feel the absence of it. When I see my friends' kids running around screaming and laughing, and they've just got this energy that feels like life itself. And sometimes I do wonder, what would my life look like if I had chosen differently? And then there's this other side where I find myself in really difficult conversations because a friend will say, "You just don't understand. You don't have kids." And it's true. I don't. I don't know what it's like to have a piece of my heart walking around outside of my body. I don't know the level of love and joy and fear that comes with that. I can assume the level of fear because I have a couple of dogs and I worry to death about them all the time. And I'm constantly saying, "Oh, I could never have kids because I would just worry all the time." So if you have kids and you can shed some light on this for me, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you because I don't think I could handle that type of anxiety and that type of worry. How do you do it? I'm so impressed by you. I'm so blown away that you're able to overcome just that constant fear of doing something wrong or not doing the right things for them. You guys are superheroes. I don't know. I guess I've learned that every choice in life comes at a cost. And if you choose to have kids, you sacrifice certain freedoms. And if you choose not to have kids, you sacrifice certain experiences. I guess that's the deal. That's life, right? And for me, the benefits of being child-free, well, it just doesn't feel like selfishness to me. It feels like it's about having space. Like the space to create, the space to travel, to take risks without worrying who's depending on me. And I guess being able to have uninterrupted conversations with people I love. And I'm sure that a lot of you parents out there are going to say, "Listen, you can still do all of that stuff." And I know you can. I'm just talking about what I think I'm capable of doing. And the fact that I've given myself that kind of space has allowed me to have a life that feels very full. Now, I'm sure it's not full in the way that you might define it, but it's full in the way I define it. So, what's the biggest challenge of all of this? It's not actually the choice itself. It's the pressure that comes with having to explain my choice. There's this expectation, especially as you get older, that eventually you'll come around. Eventually you will decide that the right choice is to have kids. That it's just a phase you're going through. That eventually your clock will start ticking and suddenly you'll be sprinting to catch up. And maybe some people do change their mind. That's okay. But for me, the clarity has only gotten sharper as I age. The more I live my life without kids, the more I realize it's exactly the life I was meant to be living. I think sometimes we get so caught up in defending our choices that we forget to celebrate them. And I want to change that for myself and maybe for anyone listening to me right now. Because there's so much beauty in a life that isn't driven by the pursuit of the same life model that everyone else is living. There's joy in the unexpected paths. There's this freedom in designing a life that doesn't fit the normal mold. It doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you cold. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that you're missing out on what life has to offer. So, if you're listening to this and you've chosen to be child-free, or maybe you're still wrestling with that decision, I want you to hear me when I say this. You are allowed to define your own version of what completes you. You're allowed to choose a life that looks different. You're allowed to value your freedom and your passions and your peace. And to the parents out there, I salute you. I am so blown away by what you do. I don't take it lightly, the love and the sacrifice that you give every single day. But I hope that you can see me and the people like me and understand that this choice isn't a rejection of your life. It's just an embracing and a celebration of our own lives and our own decisions and the hard choices that we've made. I've stopped trying to convince people. I've stopped trying to prove that my life is enough, because I've realized it's not my job to make my life make sense to someone else. It's just my job to live it fully, intentionally, with the same kind of commitment that parents give to their children. Except in my case, that commitment is to other things, to my friendships, to my own peace of mind. And if that's selfish, then maybe selfish isn't the dirty word that we've made it out to be. Because I'm here right now and I'm happy. And I don't feel empty. I feel full of life and joy. And for me, that's everything. I guess what I'm trying to say is, life is just too short to live by someone else's blueprint. If having kids is what makes your heart beat faster, then by all means, do it. But if not having kids gives you that same feeling, then own it. Either way, just love the hell out of the life you've chosen, because it's the only thing that matters. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and leave me a message in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Take care.